Today we're talking about perfection. Hey, I'm Isaac Schanno Johnson. If you don't know me, I'm a musician, composer, producer, and I make videos about all that fun stuff. Music composition, music production. So make sure you hit that subscribe button to see videos like this in the future. First, I want to apologize if there's any extra background noise in this one. It's quite hot out here in California, so I have my AC on. It might not be as clear audio as it normally is in most of my videos, but we're gonna keep going. So it doesn't need to be perfect to be good. This is a blog post I originally made on my blog, blog.musicbyisj.com. Go check it out. I post on there every day recently. I'm trying to keep it at every single day I post something, even if it's short. I've been going for almost a year, so we'll see how it goes. I originally made this post there, so I wanted to make a video explaining it a little further. So often when you're listening to music, you'll hear imperfections. And I don't mean mistakes by imperfections, but I mean small imperfections in tiny things. Like maybe in a guitar recording, there's some string noise of the fingers sliding across the string that can make sort of a scratching sound sometimes. Maybe there's a lot of pick noise in a guitar track. Maybe there's a lot of bow noise in a violin recording, or maybe there's like some slight sliding or glissando between the notes rather than perfectly hearing one after the other with no slide in the middle. Maybe there's whatever it is. Maybe you can slightly hear the pedals in a sound in a recording of a piano piece. Maybe it's something like that. Small imperfections. Not necessarily mistakes in the performance, right? Because most professional recordings, you probably won't hear that, but sometimes you'll have small imperfections. I actually think those are exactly what you want in a recording, because those tiny little things are what make it unique. If you have a piece of music where every single note is played perfectly with no extra noise, no tiny little imperfections, it won't sound real and it won't sound unique. It'll just sound like another guitar recording. I think it's one of the things that makes like classic rock recordings so cool is that a lot of the time there are imperfections, right? If you listen to old Led Zeppelin or Jimi Hendrix recordings, you'll hear lots of stuff that are imperfections, right? Where it could have been played slightly cleaner, or it could have been played with, less extra noise from the guitar or whatever. And not to say that Jimi Hendrix and Jimmy Page are bad guitar players. They're amazing guitar players. But some of the reasons I think why their music and why their playing was so good was they had all of that stuff. They had a unique sound, right? All of those things that make their guitar playing unique, make those recordings unique, is exactly what people love about their playing and about those recordings. Those small little things that let you know that you're listening to a Jimi Hendrix record, right? And it goes for everything. Porter Robinson recently released an album called Nurture, I think it's called, and he has a song in there called Get Your Wish. And at the beginning, in an episode of Song Exploder, the podcast, he talks about that specific song, and he said at the beginning he recorded himself playing piano, this piano idea that he thought of, and when he recorded it, he like set down his phone and then put on a metronome, and when he listened back to the recording, he really liked that sound of him setting down his phone and putting on the metronome, and that sound of him setting down his phone, that like clack, sort of went with the rhythm in the song, so he added that rhythm into the rest of the song, right? And I think that's a really cool idea, to add these small imperfections purposefully, right? Because with modern technology, modern recording technology, you can make stuff so pristine and so perfect and so clean that it doesn't have any of those imperfections. And if that's the music you want to make, then go ahead and make that music, right? That can be some awesome music to create. But one of the things I think that makes a piece of music sound personal and relatable is those small imperfections. It's one of the reasons why in a number of interviews, Charlie Puth has actually talked about using recordings from his phone in his songs. So he'll record something on his phone and then put that into his official version of the song, because he wants to add something that has this extra layer of like imperfection and extra layer of like almost dirt, basically, that's he's adding in, so everything doesn't sound super pristine and perfect. And I think it just adds another like layer of uniqueness and character and your ownness, I guess, to the music to make it more personal to you rather than it being super pristine and super perfect and in some cases impersonal. And one way I like to think about this is if you were to make a recording of a violin being played absolutely perfectly. The vibrato was perfect rate and like width in like pitch differentiation, how high it goes up, how low it goes up, and every single note is perfectly in time and perfectly in tune, and the bow pattern is perfect. I don't think that recording would sound very human. I think it would sound kind of strange. I mean, it would be cool to watch a robot play violin, but I think it won't have the same effect as hearing a human play it, because humans are imperfect. They're going to have imperfections, right? They're going to have some notes that are played slightly earlier before the beat, slightly after the beat. No matter how good their rhythm is, they're going to be slightly off. They're going to have times where the vibrato is varied between notes and the bow pattern is varied between notes and all of that stuff. And I think those specific tiny imperfections are exactly what make it sound beautiful. Those tiny imperfections are exactly what make it sound human and sound relatable and honestly, in a lot of ways, enjoyable to listen to. So if you get rid of those imperfections, it doesn't necessarily make it bad music. That's not what I'm trying to say at all. But I think in a lot of ways, adding those imperfections into your music can just add another layer to your music to make it more human and more unique and more you. It's something that I try to add into my own music a lot of the times. I don't do it in huge ways, but I'll try and add something to make it personal or relatable. Maybe I don't quantize everything perfectly. Maybe I play in lines and then leave them somewhat unquantized, or I'll add in recordings or samples that I've made myself, right? You're adding in these other pieces into your music. Maybe you record yourself playing guitar or piano or something and you use that recording. Whatever it is, try to use some type of almost imperfection, I guess, in your own music so that everything isn't perfect. I think you'll find it has a very fun, very cool sounding result where it feels very personal to you when you do this. All right, that's it for this video. I hope you found it useful. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned something about music. If you did, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. And as always, thank you for watching. I'll see you next time. Peace.